This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. Winter is a prime time for attracting birds. Beckoning birds to your backyard in winter can be easier than any other season if you provide what they need to the weather and survive the coldest months. We have Krista Noel from the Missouri Department of Conservation in this morning to give us some tips. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Well, I did not even know that you could feed birds in the wintertime. I figure they all migrate to the south and we don't even see any, but that's not the case.
No, that's not the case. There's actually quite a few species that stay year-round.
Okay.
And there's also several species that might actually migrate south to here in the winter.
Oh, okay.
That we don't have in the summer.
Okay, so you have some bird feeders here on display, and that's what we're going to talk about first. What are the types of bird feeders you might want to use during the wintertime?
Okay. Well, that's a really good question. The best case is to use a variety of bird feeders so that you attract the biggest variety of birds. Mm-hmm. And this is a Niger thistle feeder, and I have the seed right here. It's a black thistle seed that's really good for goldfinches, pine siskins, small-beaked birds.
And it's really like fine.
It's very fine. That's why if you notice the holes are very small on the feeder, and it's a very nutritious seed. And then this is just a tube feeder, and I have two different types of seed in it. I have a black oil sunflower seed, which here is some on the plate.
Okay.
And that is a really preferred food to feed during the winter because the shells are very thin, so it's easy for birds to access the seed, and it's highly nutritious. And then on top I have a more inexpensive mix of striped sunflower and millet. These small seeds in this mix are good for ground feeding birds such as juncos and sparrows. And the sunflowers are better for blue jays, cardinals, some of the larger birds.
Okay, so when it comes to wintertime, do you want to provide some water for the birds as well, or do you want to stay away from that?
Yes, no, water is definitely good. In North Missouri, everything freezes. So if you put a heating element in your bird bath, you'll be shocked how many birds will drink the water, and some will even bathe, and it's not a danger for them to splash around in the water.
Okay, and the next question I have is what if we see a hawk and it's killing the birds at our bird feeders?
Right, that may happen. The hawks have to eat as well. They're attracted to the bird feeders just like the birds are attracted to the seed. The best thing to do in that case is to take down your feeders for a couple of days or a week until the birds move out of the area, and then the hawk will go somewhere else to hunt the birds.
Okay. And go ahead and explain a little bit of what else we have here on display. Here are some pine cones with some peanut butter on them.
Yes, peanut butter. Peanut butter is very high in fat and calories, which is great for birds because they want to store fat over the winter to help them get through the cold temperatures. So these are just some white pine cones that I smeared peanut butter on. You can also then roll those pine cones in seed if you want, and then hang them from trees. This is a suet feeder, which is just animal fat. You can actually make your own suet with bacon grease if you like.
Oh, okay.
That's great for woodpeckers to hang from trees. And then over here I have some grapes that I soaked in water overnight.
Oh, okay.
And that's good for birds that eat fruit. We sometimes forget those birds like cedar waxwings, and that's a really inexpensive way to feed them over the winter.
Okay, so we have a bird feeder in our backyard and we have an abundant amount of birds coming to feed on our seeds. What happens if one hits our window? What are we supposed to do?
Yes, that's the most common cause of fatality when you're feeding birds, unfortunately. One thing you can do when you have these hanging bird feeders, don't hang them right at the window.
Okay.
I know it's tempting because you really want to see the birds up close, but you can use binoculars. And also you can spread fruit tree netting a couple of inches just in front of your windows, and that blocks the reflection of the sky.
Oh, so they won't think that there's a continuation of the sky.
Exactly.
All right. And before we head to break, you also wanted to mention a program that people can participate in that's coming up later on this month, right?
Right. The Audubon Society has the Christmas bird count, which is a great citizen science project opportunity. If you go on the Audubon Society's website and find your count coordinator, you can actually record data, birds that are coming to your bird feeders, and you're contributing real scientific data to the longest ongoing census of that's assessing bird health populations.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll post all of that information on our website as well as your information with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back.